welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Zarina. I'm a graphic designer who specializes in logo design and branding design. And today I just want to go through some different rebrands. Some of these are really recent, actually, and kind of give you my take on them. So let's jump right in. This first one is for Pringles. So it's a bit fun. I'm not a huge fan of Pringles. As a product, I tend to like other potato chips a little bit more. I think the way they make it is it's like potato flour almost that they press into potato chip form. I'm not a potato chip scientist. It's not a thing. I'm not a potato chip connoisseur by any means, but I'm just not a fan of Pringles. But I will not let that affect my feelings about this brand. So I appreciate that they wanted to evolve this logo, this little mascot. I think it was a good idea to kind of streamline this design, but to be honest, I'm not totally a fan of the execution. By removing the texture from his mustache and kind of the depth from his mustache, you run the risk of it looking kind of like an open mouth. And I might be crazy, I might be the only one that's seeing that, but picture like a snapping turtle. So what also doesn't sit right with me about this one is that the mascot illustration has less detail than the word mark, Pringles, but it's so much larger. You can kind of see in Pringles, there's like a little highlight on the edges of the letters. And a big reason why designers tend to want, logos to feel really streamlined and clean is because when it scales, there's a bunch of reasons, but one of them is when it scales down, no details lost, it doesn't get too messy, So in this case, it's kind of weird that the larger part of the logo has so little detail, and then the tinier part of the logo, the word mark, has these extra little highlights and depth in it. So I don't know what was going on there. If they wanted to use flat design for this mascot, I would have loved to see that maybe carry over into the word mark as well. So not having those little highlights and like that kind of depth in the type, just having the whole thing be flat. Maybe it's in like a cool new scripty font. It also would have been cool to see this logo in a completely different direction where like they add more detail to the Pringles character. Maybe it's still flat, but he's like a little more ornate. He has a little more personality. Okay, I'm not a fan of this one. So it looks like Smucker's really wanted to go for something more modern, which is very interesting to me, and I would not expect that from them. And it reminds me a lot of like the Stop and Shop logo. I think they actually changed that back again, but for like a few years, the Stop and Shop logo was like this, I guess it was like a fruit basket kind of thing and like fanning out, and it was like these abstract shapes that were supposed to be food. It was weird. I didn't like it. I didn't really understand it, and I feel kind of the same way about this. I want to know what the strategy was behind this, because there's a lot of, Smucker's didn't just like do this on a whim. I'm sure they have a lot of research behind it and like a marketing agency telling them that this is a good move for them. But when I think of Smucker's, I think of that ad from like 10 years ago.
I love jam.
For 5 generations, with a name like Smucker's, it has to be good.
Tradition of Smucker's and how they've been making jam for generations, whatever. And, the Smucker's family heritage kind of thing. And this is just like so 180, like totally different. And I feel like Smucker's had a lot of like brand equity and kind of like, recognition. Maybe with like the younger crowd, they don't as much. I'm pretty young, but like maybe like people who are more like Gen Z aren't buying Smucker's and they were trying to get that. I don't know. I don't know, what the strategy was behind this. Yeah, I'm just really not a fan of this one. I think, maybe if they needed to look more modern and clean, I don't know. I just feel like they should have done something different. I do like these business cards though. I think the bright colors on these are pretty great. I feel like it is also that typeface they're using that the name is in. Has kind of a vintage feeling to it, and I think that kind of helps like tie in the idea I had of Smucker's of like tradition and heritage in with like this new, my arm cracked, in with like this new modern thing. You know what would have been great? I feel like if they did something that had a lot more heritage in it, but they made it look really clean and modern. I don't know, some kind of cool script or like hand lettering, but it's done in a way that's really clean, and maybe they use like really bright colors or something. That would have been cool. I wish they had done that, because I get that like the old logo wasn't amazing. This new one just feels like totally out of left field, and I just don't understand it. Oh no, I feel like we're not getting very good ones. I'm not gonna have anything nice to say about like a lot of these logos, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm so curious what caused this design change. I don't like it. I'm gonna start by saying that. It doesn't make immediate sense to me. The old logo wasn't like particularly special. It feels very generic, like hipstery logo. So I can understand wanting to change it. I don't understand why this was the solution. I just feel like there's so many cool things they could have done, like Dollar Shave Club. You could have done like some shave inspired shaving like icons. You could have had a little mascot. I don't know, like there's just so much potential there because it's such a unique, specific thing. And this just looks like it could be a logo for anything. And that negative space, like where the D, the like vertical D is, that like negative space is really unusual to me. I don't know why you wouldn't just have the word mark be flush. I don't even want to call that an icon. It's just like 3 letters stacked on top of each other. I'm trying to understand this because I feel like there must be something I'm missing. Like I guess it does look like a little person. This new logo just feels uncomfortable. That's a good word for it. It's just uncomfortable. It doesn't make sense. The last one was better. Even though it was kind of generic and boring, at least it like, I don't know, it was like simple and clean, and like, I feel like you just could have evolved that in a cooler way instead of just making this. I wonder, and this is total speculation, I have no grounds to be saying this. I wonder if they ran into some sort of legal trouble because the logo is so generic that maybe it looked too similar to somebody else's logo and they had to do a rushed redesign, because that happened. I worked somewhere where that happened. And then again, I feel like Dollar Shave Club has been around for a while and they've had the same logo for a while, so maybe not. There's a lot that goes into making a logo for a company, especially like a very high profile company. And it's sometimes so amazing to me the way these rebrands go, because there's so many people involved. There's designers, creative directors, art directors, strategists, you know, people who are just kind of general marketing connoisseurs, and like it blows my mind sometimes that like this is kind of where people land, but I'm being a bit harsh. I think I should stop. Next we have and I think this is going to be the last one I do. Next we have the redesign for Gmail. So they actually redid the entire G Suite. From pure aesthetics, I'm into it. I like that Google has kind of owned like the rainbow palette and that they're being really colorful. I especially like how they look as a set. That being said, from a usability issue, it's a disaster. These look so similar, and it's so important to think about usability, especially when it comes to people who are visually impaired. In terms of, and like, I mean, imagine like, even if you just squint a little bit and look at it, like, and they're small, they all look the same. And you really need to think about accessibility in design. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about how user-friendly it is and how user-friendly it is to a wide variety of people. Design isn't just about things looking nice, it's about things being usable and accessible as well. And this really missed the mark on that. So I think in terms of user experience, it's quite a flop. And to be honest, I think Google is probably going to have to change these again because, you know, for somebody who has any type of visual impairment, this is going to be very difficult to use. All right, so I wish I had better things to say about those rebrands. I feel a bit negative. So those are all the rebrands I'm going to react to today. Maybe in the next video I'll find some better some better designs to react to. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and you know, thank you for watching. If you want to give this video a like, feel free. If you want to subscribe, feel free. Yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.